Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today we're going to make some cute cards using the Newton's Nook super cute stamp set. It's called Newton's Donut, and you can see the little kitty cat in there in the little donut, and it's got a separate donut, some sprinkles, and a couple sentiments. We're going to make a couple cards today. The first one is just using the donut that is back here. This one is so adorable. I love it. So we're going to do a couple of things. One thing about this little donut is we're going to turn it into a background stamp along with the sprinkles. So we're going to do a donut and the sprinkles. Now the cool thing about the donut and the sprinkles is that not only there are also dies in here, which we're going to get to that in a little bit, but not yet. So first we're going to make a background. So what I've done, just to kind of show you the general idea of my card, taken a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cut it in half, and that's how I'm getting the two bases for my cards. So that's how you can get a pair of cards out of one cardstock sheet. So since I cut it in half, I might as well use the other half and make a card. So I'm just trimming that in half, and I'm going to pull out a ink, this right here, and I'm going to use a series of different blues. So I'm going to stick with these color spectrums. I pulled out a sheet of Vernia foil paper, and this is the Starstruck, and this is in the Sapphire. It's so gorgeous. The first step I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that down. So I've got my Xyron Mega Runner, and I'm going to add the glue to my background. You could do either way, but one thing I've noticed about with the Vernia foil paper is because it has the ability to do a great job of keeping the embossing, if you run your tape runner on it, you sometimes can get little lines, and I don't want to see that. I want it nice and clean, just like that. All right, then we're going to have a couple layers. We're going to have another layer of white. So both of these are very heavily layered cards, which I love. I mean, they're just kind of cool. So I'm going to take a little bit of this ink, and it's coming out of my Color Blocks paint box, as you can see right here. And these things are removable, which I think is so much fun. And I'm just going to give a nice clean edge, just adding that beautiful layer right there, and pop that in. And before I get too far gone, I'm going to go ahead and add my tape runner to that and stick that down. So now I'm going to pop this off to the side, get out my stamp positioner, and just pulling out a black ink, nothing super fancy. And I have cut down another card to fit another white card. So it's going to have this layer, and we're going to ink the edges of this so it has another layer so it doesn't look like it's too close together, but I'm going to do all the stamping first. So we're just going to pop that on there, as you can see, but I need to stamp it first. So I'm just pulling up my card. And hint, if you haven't put washi tape on your stamp, on your magnets, you need to do so, because it makes it a whole lot easier to pick up and down. And if they ever get caught together, you're not trying to worm, you can just pull the tape and they pull it apart. So it just simplifies the matters. To begin with, I'm just going to stick them over here. And if you guys have ever done that, I don't know how many times I've taken a stamp and I've done it where the flat side is down. So always make sure that the actual part that you're stamping is facing down. And I'm just going to start off with these two corners right here. And we're going to stamp all around the background here. So I'm going to pop it open, make sure this is nice flush in the corner. And we're going to be moving the stamp as well, because I'm going to end up stamping in that corner. This is Umbrella Crafts ink. This is a premium dye ink you can get at scrapbook.com. Fantastic. So here we go. Come in, stamp. I got a nice good clear image on that. Now I'm going to rearrange, just using my fingers to kind of clean up. And I'm also going to come and move this right here. So I'm just going to keep doing this, adding stamps, and it's okay if there's a little bit of an image there, because that's where I'm going to be stamping anyway. So it's just getting sprinkles and donuts, these little mini donuts, all through here. Okay, I'm just taking another sheet of paper, and I've taken that same donut stamp, and I gotta pull it up here. And I'm gonna do a couple more donuts, stamping them. Pulled out 4 colors of pens, and as you can see, I've already started one. The first color, and I'm gonna do these 3. We're actually gonna die cut them, and we're gonna place them over 3 of the donuts on here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually taking the lighter color. These are Style File markers, and this one just says lemon yellow, but it reminds me of the color of a donut. So that's what I'm gonna do as the background for all of what I would call the donut part. And then I know most people are going to go, well, sprinkles, you should go light colors. But I just wanted to pull dark colors. I've already pulled dark colors, just something different. And so I've pulled out 3 what I would call more like jewel tone colors. I've got Napoleon blue, forest green, and here we have vivid purple. They're just beautiful, bold colors. I kind of did a little bit of a color swatch on here. And then just coming in and flicking the occasional sprinkle, as you can see, just kind of hitting 3 or 4 and moving on to the next color. So I have a lot of donuts to do here. So hitting the purple, there's not a whole lot I have to actually color on these. So I have to be very careful about coming in. It's a very small distinction between the green and the blue, but you know, it's one of those, oh, did she use another color or what color is that? You could have a blast with these sprinkles on this card. That is the fun thing, and it's just like that. And it looks kind of striking. So I'm going to do the same thing with the sprinkles over here. Just hitting, I'm using the same color tones. So I'm hitting the greens, hitting a few greens, just like that. But I'm not going to bore you with coloring all this mess in. And I'm not also trying to make sure that every single donut, the sprinkles are in the exact same order. I'm just, you know, I might kind of come in here and color all the sprinkles with my green right now since I have it open and just randomly hitting them. Just kind of speeds things up. One thing I do need to keep in mind though is that some of these donuts are going to overlap some of those donuts, so I don't need to sprinkle. So I have to kind of think ahead. So I'm going to be leaving 3 of these donuts empty because I'm just going to lay the popped up. I'm actually going to pop these up over top of the other one. So there's no point in me coloring the bottom one. That seems kind of fruitless. Except for I might color the yellow of the donut part, so that way it doesn't look like there's nothing there. So it gives it that multi-layered look. All right, so I'm going to speed up the coloring part and go ahead and color in all the donuts and sprinkles. So before I get too far into coloring my sprinkles, I know I got most of the sprinkles done. I'm coming in and I'm stamping the sentiment, and it says, "A life is better with sprinkles." I love that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And if you want to use your positioning block, but I'm just coming in with a little round stamp block, and I absolutely love it, because this is just going to be a quick and easy sentiment that goes on the card. I'm going to come in, stamp this nice and straight, lift up, see, super easy, right? I could pull out the stamp positioner again, but I want to place this and get the feel, and then I know which donuts I don't have to color. So I don't want to go ahead and color all of them and then be like, I wasted my time. So I'm going to do this step first. All right, so what I've done is I've taken the stamp and I've done multi-layers of layers underneath it. So I stamped the Life is Better with Sprinkles, cut it out, and now I'm going to layer it up. So to try and get any kind of dye or like tape runner on these things, it's just be a pain in the tuchus. So what I'm actually going to do is use my Xyron 3-inch sticker maker and run all of these items through here. So I'm going to do one. I think I can fit a couple on here. And you're probably wondering why I have a little piece of cardboard, because this is my foam dot. So you just kind of run it through and it becomes a homemade glue dot, which is fantastic. I am going to ink all the edges of these. I'm just going to run them through first. Pull that off, tear it, kind of run it along here. I'm not pulling this last one off yet because it is sticky and I'm not ready to stick it down yet to my card cover. So I already know where I'm going to place it. I decided I wanted to come in here and place it right on top of this guy right here in this little space. So I know I don't need to color this one at all. You're not even going to see that donut. And I need to finish these sprinkles. I need to color this donut in, and then I'm going to replace and pop up this donut, and this donut. I think those are the 3 I'm going to do. So I am not going to worry about coloring these 3. If I change my mind, I can always pull it up and color it in later. So for this is super easy. The first layer down is going to be my cardboard. And I'm just layering it right here on top of my Xyron space right here. Next is my first layer of paper. Oh, that works. We're going to do that. We're going to use the pen. So I'm just going to come in with my pen and ink the edges. And this is a great way, if you don't have an exact color match, but you're using your pens, to come in and use your pen as your inking method. Just like that. See, look at that. Isn't that fun? I'm tempted now to pull up, and I've done this. I've yanked stuff off my my cards before because I didn't like the look of it, or I changed my mind midway and went with a different plan. So now I'm going to pull in, and I'm using the other side of the marker. I'm using the flat tip. And this just helps pull all those colors together that are already kind of in the card. It's kind of a fun way of blending everything together. So you can see that. So I'm just going to push that off to the side, and I really do think I'm going to come in and do that. So I'm going to pull that blue color, and yeah, I'm ripping a little bit of the paper that's below, but I'll just redo that again. And I'm going to come in with my blue marker. It's pretty darn close. I wouldn't want to add a different color, but it is almost spot on. It's just a little bit of a shade darker, and I think it just goes better. The ink that was on the card originally was a little too light, and I hadn't quite picked out. It didn't work as well. This works a lot better. And I know I have a different kind of a color blue here, and I'm cool with that. I like it. It's still in the same kind of color family, I feel. So I'm just going to add some more. As you can see, I kind of ripped up some of the foil that's on there. Because that really is, it's a foil with the paper, and you can see the paper underneath. It's kind of cool. So just sticking this back down. There we go. So now I got a feel for where I'm going with that. And then now I'm going to come in, and I know where I need to color and not color. So I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring. So I decided I wanted to add another layer of fun color because I've got these purpley colors going in there, and this vibrant violet is still in Starstruck from Mania foil. So I'm going to add this in as just another pretty layer. I mean, it pops, right? It just adds another fun layer. So I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive down. It's all just layers. They're either 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch less than the layer above or below it. So you just see that pop of something. And I have gone ahead and colored in. And I also decided, while I was doing all this, that all the donuts that are not completely covered, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to pop all those up. But I went ahead and colored all the bottoms of them, just in case there's a hint that shows you kind of tilt the card, you can see it, because we're going to pop these up. We're not laying them flat on there. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the edge. And since I did the purple, I'm going to ink in the green color, pulling in a layer of that fun color, doing the same process I've done before. So just coming in, inking that edge right here in that green. And you can really pick any color combination you want with this. I personally love these 3 colors. They're what I would think of like as peacock colors. They're just so gorgeous. And therefore that's the beautiful colors that ended up going on there. I actually pulled the 3 colors, the sapphire, the violet, and that's what inspired the colors to color in all these beautiful donuts that came from Newton's Nook. Okay, from here, I'm going to go through. I'm not popping up any of these layers because we're popping up some of the other parts of the card. Look at that. Isn't that cute? It's already got this fun layer effect. If you want to go less on the background paper, because basically what I did is I used the stamps to create a background paper. If you want to do less on that, go for it. If you want to do more with that, go for it. There's no right or wrong with this. All right, now I'm taking my little layered title, and it's going to come in. I colored that donut because I was like, well, maybe there's a section I couldn't remember how much showed, but I don't need to. And I'm just going to come in, and oh, I got to color before I get too far. I do need to color the rest of the sprinkles on this donut because I'm seeing it and I forgot to do that. Oops. The foil that's on here is going to be flat to the card, so I don't need to worry about coloring anything that's under there. But I have one last little guy, and I think I hadn't done the green yet, so we're going to do a little green sprinkle. There we go. Cute, right? Okay, move that off to the side, and we are going to die cut out our donut. So when I die cut, one of the easiest things to do, which I have my die completely upside down, is to add a little bit of washi tape. You could use all different kinds of tape. To tape down, I'm going to make sure I have this lined up correctly. There I go. Tape that down, and I have to do these one at a time because there's only one die, but you guys know how a die works at this point probably. Run it through. So wait for thin die, ABC plates. Super simple. Some people run it one way through. I always run it back to where I started just because it's easier. Pull up my tape. The die should be with it. Pop it out. Boom, there it is. And even a little center got die cut out. So cute. All right, I'm doing the same trick. I'm taking that cardboard. I'm going to run it through, but to make it a pop dot on both sides, because I don't want to make my whole donut sticky. This is the trick. You run it through one way. You rub it. And now we're going to flip it over and go the other direction. It's already sticky on the bottom side. We've got to make it sticky on the top side. So now I'm going to pull it through, keep it on that back paper, run it through, and I've made my homemade pop dot. I have completely stopped buying them because cardboard is easy and I already have tape runners. I mean, it's just so simple. From here, find my scissors, and I need to cut off little sections. And this is the beautiful thing about this too. I can cut off the perfect amount that I need to fit on my donuts. So I'm just going to come in, add layers, make sure it's not popping through, make sure I have some, and I'm just going to flip all these over. So I'm going to keep cutting these up and adding foam dots to the back side, making sure they're not too long and that they fit perfectly so that all these little donuts are going to be popped up on my card. I've got all my little donuts on there, and I'm just going to flip them over, place them very gingerly, double checking that I don't have any of the cardboard pieces showing, and then just place them over top of where the other donuts are. Super cute. The other cool thing about the cardboard is that you can make it either thicker or thinner. You can squish it down or you can double layer it. So this pop dot, this little donut, is actually much taller than this one. So it gives a lot of cool variation. And that is our first card. Super cute. Life is always better with sprinkles. Now I've already stamped in my little kitty cat stamp with the donuts. Super cute little kitty cat. And I'm using the same color story to color in, but I haven't decided exactly what color the kitty cat's going to be. So the last thing I am getting into here is with my blue marker. I'm just going to come in with my blue one here. And I'm going to decide what colors I'm going to do for my kitty cat here in a minute, and I'll show you what that's going to be. Okay, so in my, I have a very small selection of Style Fire markers. I'm pulling out one of my Tombow markers here, and I'm actually going to make a gray kitty. So that is going to be the majority of the cat, except for the ears. So I'm just going to kind of come in and color it with the gray, giving a nice light color. I don't have an endless supply of markers, so you got to go with what you got. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't mean that you always have to use the exact same marker or the same brand. You can mix and match. There's nothing that says that you have to be identical. So just giving you an idea of where I'm going. I am not a shading kind of a person. I've never learned how to do that. So concept of how to shade, it's a little foreign to me, but you get the idea of where I'm going to go with the kitty. And then I have a very, very pale pink, which I'm going to come in and do with the ears. It's not a super pale pink, but you get the idea. It's a cute pink. So I'm going to come in with the ears here. Super adorable. And then I'm also going to do the nose, the tummy, and the pads on the feet in that pale pink. I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring that up. So it's all colored in. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over top the eyes and just really emphasize the eyes in there because they got a little bit darkened with the coloring that I did. So there is that. Now we're going to die cut this out. All right, one of the colors that is in there is kind of this, what is it called? They actually call it Forever Green, or Forest Green, not Forever Green, sorry, Forest Green. But it's kind of like a minty green, and so a lighter version of that I actually have in this pattern. So it's right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move that off to the side so I don't, and I have cut down a small piece of paper, and I'm going to take the cute little stencil that we have, it's called Serene Stripes, lay that down there, use my washi tape again, to make sure everything, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to very carefully, just in the corners here where you could hardly notice it, so that this piece does not move, and then I'm going to lay my stencil over top and also washi tape my stencil down. There is a couple of corners that you're just going to not have a little bit of ink on there, but we will survive. And then I'm placing it on my throwaway white paper that's down here. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm just going to come in and get a good background and just swiping it up and down. I'm not looking for perfection here. I don't want it to be super, it's kind of a grungy look to it. Just getting in there and making sure I get all the corners, all the layers. There you go. Pop that up. It's basically creating a background paper. And look how cool that is, right? Super cute background paper. Easy, easy, easy. And you can create that with the stencils, with all different kinds of stencils that you can get at Newton's Nook. Don't forget to go clean your stencils. And then I'm going to take that same color and I'm going to ink the edges of that just to kind of finish it off. And you wouldn't even know that I had done that. By inking the edges, it kind of finishes it, and you wouldn't know that I had put that washi tape down there. Make sure you go clean your stencil, pull your tape off, just go in the sink and rinse it off. I'm going to do that shortly after I finish this video. So just don't forget to clean your stencils in between each use. So I just went through with some white paper and die cut out a tag using my nesting tag die, and it's got a little insert that you can place on there, and that's how I die cut out a tag that would fit perfectly to go with my little kitty cat. I've stamped up with black. The last stamp on here, it says, I do not know what I do without Mew. So I'm just gonna layer this right here at the bottom. Just like that. Get it on there. Ta-da. And I am going to use a little bit of that cardboard that I have left over. I think I'm actually going to cut this into sections of 3. If I can find any of my scissors. Do any of you have to have this happen where you have so much stuff on your scrap desk that, I mean, it's just like it turns into chaos zone around here with all the things. So just layering up, adding another one up top here. There we go. And then sticking this on here, giving a little bit of some dimension. There we go. Look how adorable that is, right? And then I'm going to ink this. So coming back to my card, I have my layer of vernier foiled paper. Come in and stick this down. It's all about layers with this card and with the other card too. Now I came in with my background paper that we made using the stencil. Come in. Layer that down. So stinking cute. I feel like I just needed one more pop of color, so I went ahead and cut out some more of that vernier foil paper in the gold. It pops, it works, it looks so super cute. So just layering that in there, and then now I'm going to glue everything down. The last thing to finish it off, so I don't have this weird looking hole at the top, we're going to take a little bit of some twine. This is also in that same background color that you saw that we did in that stamp. So I'm going to pop it through here. I cut off way more than I need, but that's okay. And I am just going to tie a little knot up at the top and give it a wonderful cute bow. Actually, I'm going to tie a knot, like a double knot, like a square knot. So that way it doesn't come loose before I put the bow on there. So you don't want that coming off. Now that I've got a cute knot, come in here, and when I do bows, I almost did like a shoelace bow. When I do a bow on here, you want to do a double. Doing a really crappy job of this. You want to do like the bunny ear method where you have the 2 ears and then you go through the loop. And the reason I do that is when I get this all said and done, your ears will be at the top and your loops will be at the bottom, which is what I want. So I keep like pulling it, tying it until I get it to the level I want. Just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. And to make sure this doesn't go anywhere, I am going to add a tiniest dab of glue just so this doesn't move and wiggle and go all over the place on me. Just super simple like that. And then trim off my little tails. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking out how to make 2 cute cards using one entire stamp. We used every single piece on this stamp set. And as a heads up, whenever I have a stamp and die set that go together, I always start the dies in the back of my stamp in the little package it came from. It just makes it so much easier to know that they go together. So pull out your stamps and dies and think that maybe you can get a couple of cute really set dies or stamps using all of them, just rearranging it and using layers. That is so much fun. And making background paper using your stamps and also stencils, which makes for really cute cards. Also, don't forget to head on over to Newton's Nook blog, the link will be down below, and also to the Xyron Facebook page because they are giving away, both companies are giving away prizes. And so if you leave comments on the Newton's Nook blog and the Xyron Facebook page, you are eligible to win some awesome prizes. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys again later. Bye-bye.